Good Sunday morning, folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina at Mulberry Street Pizza.
Anybody about Lefty from Mulberry Street.
If you haven't checked it out, they've got great pizza, great food. We're going to check out some cool cars, some cool trucks. We're going to have a good time right here on Seahad's Autos. All right, guys, I just met John and his beautiful 1937 Ford pickup. This is out of Conway, South Carolina. It's got a 302 cubic inch V8, 325 horsepower, automatic overdrive transmission, black sapphire paint, and it is beautiful. And here we're with Rich. Rich, tell us about your Chevrolet.
I bought this Chevy in 1985 in boxes. I came home with doors and fenders inside the car, and my wife said, "What are you going to do with that?" And at that time, I was working as a millwright at Packard Electric in Warren, Ohio, division of General Motors, and we were working 60 hours a week, and didn't have time to go in the garage after I got home from work, and I had a son going to college too. So I never really started on a car until about 2007 when I retired, and it's a frame off restoration. We painted the bottom of the car and the dashboard at the same time in the rotisserie when it was standing on its side. And it's just been a bunch of work and progress over the years. Every nut and bolt has been removed and put back into this car. It's got tubular control arms on the front, Viking coilovers. The rear suspension has 2-inch drop leaf springs in it. It's got a 350. It's got 700R in it with a 10-bolt rear end. It's got a custom upholstery. And the outside is the purple paint is actually Mulberry. It was used on Monte Carlos and Impalas. But what we did was we added 20 grams of the metallic from the silver into the Mulberry to make the flakes more compatible. So that's about it on the car.
Well, Rich, thank you for showing it to us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
519. Next number 560.
And I've had the pleasure of meeting John. John, tell us about your Ford Fairlane.
Okay, this is a Tennessee car that was bought in Tennessee. It's an original 1967 Ford Fairlane 500, a very high option car with AC, power brakes, and power steering, with the famous 289 V8 engine and automatic. It's for sale in Myrtle Beach, and that's a really nice car, solid, no rust.
You said it's original 38,000 miles.
Yep, I called the original owner. As far as he said, it was 38,000. It was stored in a barn. I pulled it out of a barn, but it was only in for 5 years after it was repainted. And we can't document it, but it shows it.
Well, from what I hear, it costs a lot of money to look good. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. If you had to restore this car from the ground up, it costs quite in the $20,000 to $30,000 area.
Well, thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Very nice to meet
Thank
you.
you. All
Yes,
right.
sir. And here we're with Michael. Michael, tell us about your all original 1971 four door Nova.
Hey, what's going on? Once again, my name is Michael. I am a second owner of this 1971 Chevy Nova. I purchased it in Yonkers, New York. It just clocked 56,000 miles. And like you said, it's all original paint, drivetrain, and air conditioning that actually works. Um, I used it in the movie American Gangster back in 2007, a little bit after I had purchased it. So it's also a famous movie car, so to say.
That is awesome. Which scene is it? Because that's one of my favorite movies.
So it's in a couple of scenes that you see clearly. In the opening scene where they hand out turkeys in Harlem, you'll see the back end of my car and a resident of Harlem exiting my car to approach the tractor trailer handing out the turkeys. And also the other scene where Denzel Washington is calling his cousin in Vietnam at the phone booth. It
Okay.
is directly in view of him in the phone booth.
Yeah, international. Bangkok.
That's awesome. I know that movie, seen it 100 times. I'm going to have to find it and definitely look at it. Thank you, Michael,
Thank you.
very much. All right, Jerry, it's not every day that I come to a car show and see the holy grail of Corvettes, the beloved 63 split window. Tell us about it, Jerry.
Well, it's a 63 Corvette, as you know, original drivetrain. Um, I just went through the whole car. I picked it up about a year ago. I brought it to Florida and pulled the motor, original motor. Went through the whole motor, transmission, suspension. Pretty much everything was switched out to new. Um, but it holds its originality with the drivetrain. So,
That's awesome.
original interior. Um, it has been painted in certain spots, but actually I didn't do anything to the paint other than do a clay bar and a wax. And so, but it's a fun car to drive. Drives really
I
nice.
bet you get a lot of head turns on this one.
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. Especially when I just brought it up from Florida and I had it on a trailer, and a lot of people coming by and waving and thumbs up and everything. It was nice. It's a
It
great
was
car.
always great to see a split window.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jerry.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Yes, sir. Jerry was just telling me that one of the car show buddies he has actually gave him this. Um, if you don't know what this is, you are probably not born in the era that I was. This is of course, this is a 63 split window Corvette, but back when you didn't take your VCR tapes back to Blockbuster and rewind them, they charged you a fee, which is probably something that the kids of today can't comprehend. A VCR tape needs to be rewound. So that's the way it was. The front of it pops up. You stick the VCR tape in. You close it down, and it quickly rewinds your tape. So you don't get that fee at Blockbuster. But like I said, you don't hear that anymore. You don't see that anymore. So that was a cool addition to this car. Guys, we're looking at a 1932 Ford. It's an all fiberglass body, 5.7 liter V8, 350. Car's got a lot of history. We're going to check a look on the inside. Love the road signs. Got a Dos Equis for the instrument panel there. Just awesome. Tell me you wouldn't love driving this down the road right here at the beach. And here we're with Mike. Mike, tell us about your 70 Chevelle Super Sport.
So it's a 70 Chevelle. It's got a 383 stroker, crate engine, pretty new. It's only got about 1,000 miles on it right now, with a automatic transmission 700 R4. Um, Bought it with a 350 and decided to do an engine swap to get a little more horsepower out of it. Redid the interior, replaced the dash with a digital dash, and then put in. It had a bench seat, put in bucket seats, and now drives like a new car. It's got pretty clean body, really no rust, and for the car for the year, it's in pretty good shape.
Thank you, Mike. Here we're with Kenny. Kenny, tell us about your beautiful F100 pickup.
Yeah, I've, I've had some of these trucks over the years. You could buy them for a couple $100 and sell them for a couple hundred more. Uh, we moved here uh, in '02. I was looking for something. We went to the Run to the Sun in '04, and the color got me. So I told my wife I would like to get that, and when I brought it home, she said, "You bought that?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." So first few weeks I spent doing everything underneath of it to make it safe. Then we I could drive it without any regrets or toolboxes. Then I needed a radiator core support. There were no aftermarket, so we're from Maryland, so we always went to the Carlisle flea markets up there. So I found one. Then I think that was '06. So then the front end had to come off. Put that in. Uh, needs more, might as well do more since everything's exposed. So it came apart for a year and a half. Uh, I did all the rest of the mechanical work and the cleanup, and had a body shop up in uh, they're up in by Long's. He had it for a year, and got it back, put it back together, and we've driven. I put almost 40,000 miles on it. Been to Daytona, been to Darlington, the Ford F100 Nationals and Pigeon Forge. I tried to do all the local and low and long distance cruises here. Run to the Sun is a favorite. Um, 3 years ago, I had an engine built, so I traded horsepower for gas mileage and put an automatic transmission in it. And now it's a good driver that'll drive anywhere I want to go. Uh, it has power windows, put air in it. Uh, I'm gonna put the next thing. We're gonna put electric power steering as the thing the hot setup now. So I'm gonna buy a kit this fall. We're gonna put power steering, electric power steering in it. So then it'll make it much easier for me to drive. But other than that, we enjoy it. My, my wife is enjoying it some. Like in Daytona, she thought the truck was going to fall over on the racetrack, but I told her to tighten the seat belt and hold on.
I hear you.
So that's what we did.
Yes, sir.
So that's my story. I worked in Maryland for 30 years on fire apparatus and moved here. I'm impressed. And I worked for the fire department here for 10 years. So that's basically my life. But, it's good that you wanted to do this video.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Kenny.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you, sir. All right, guys, this is a 1972 Ford F100 out of Myrtle Beach. Kenny, the guy that you just saw, and the other F100, this is Kenny's son's truck. This is also Kenny's son's Mustang. So he brought both the vehicles here today for all the people to check out. Okay, guys, that is pretty much a wrap. We are done here in Murrells Inlet. If you are new to this channel and you like the content that you see, please hit that like button, hit subscribe. You'll see more cool car videos just like these. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time on CHADS Autos.